What's going on, my Turner Club? Today we are going to check out the new shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and I'm going to give you a couple of my strategies to help you make sure you beat them fast, efficient, and easily. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how are you doing with your shadow Pokemon and how many have you beaten so far? Where is your medal at? I really want to know. Are you at bronze, silver, or gold? And what is the number? Drop in the comments and let me know. Super curious about that. I appreciate all you guys being here. All my Patreon members that have been talking with me in my Discord and just been mentioning about all of the shinies they have been getting over this event. It's been so rewarding to hear everybody getting shinies. I hope you guys are getting shinies too. So let's get on with it right now. We're going to check out the new shadow Pokemon that have just been announced, along with some of my top counters, and then we are going to go into what is my strategy to help you best max out on the shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go so that you can be efficient and that you don't have to waste some of your precious resources in the process. So let's get into it right now. So first we're going to check out the new Pokemon that can be shadow that are coming into the Grunt battles right now. So we are looking at Venonat and Venomoth, Oddish, Gloom, Psyduck, Growlithe, Abra, Hitmonchan, Larvitar, and Turtwig. And the Turtwig is super cool because we have the community day coming up real soon. So this is exciting for us, guys. It's really cool to see these shadow Pokemon. Number one, because I think it's really effective to, number one, get some extra Stardust, to two, start to utilize some of the PvP mechanics, and three, you can hopefully get a pretty good quality shadow Pokemon that you can purify and get pretty close to 100%. So it's a pretty easy way to encounter some more Pokemon that you can then change the IVs of as well to help you benefit in the long run. So when we're looking at the new lineup, everybody's like, what are the best counters for these guys? So I'm gonna give you some of my generalists, right? A lot of times you don't have to be super specific to be able to beat these guys. My top generalists, if you haven't seen them before, are gonna be Dialga. Dialga is an absolute monster. You can do Dragon Breath, or you can do the Metal Claw, right? Both of those moves are gonna be pretty effective, and Dialga, since he has such a little amount of weaknesses, is a great Pokemon to use. The next one I use is Metagross. Metagross with the Meteor Mash is super effective, really dominant, and he really delivers a powerful punch. You can also use the Tyranitar with the Smackdown Stone Edge. Another one I may use also is Mewtwo, and what I use for Mewtwo is the Shadow Ball, so it's gotta be Legacy, Confusion for his quick move, as well as the Ice Beam. I really like the Ice Beam. I think it's highly effective in this mannerism. And then the other thing that you can use is also Kyogre. You can either unlock the Thunder or the Blizzard. So both of those moves, although they take a decent amount to charge up, I mean, Kyogre's Waterfall is so powerful, especially on what we have coming up right here. So if you use those 5 different guys and kind of switch them up depending on what you got, you can do an immense amount of damage. Another Pokemon you may consider is using the Charizard with the Blast Burn. Blast Burn on the Charizard, super effective against some of these grass type Pokemon. So here we go. What I would suggest doing is utilizing the Tyranitar, right? Really good. He's gonna come through with the fire. He helps out. He's great with that Smackdown Stone Edge combination. You can also unlock a second charge move if you want to use Crunch and cover the darkness weakness, right? This would be an ultimate counter, really good. I'm not saying to max them all out, but maybe just have one T-Char that has Smackdown, Stone Edge, and Crunch to be able to go ahead and utilize that. That would be really effective. The other Pokemon I'm gonna suggest using, especially for the Larvitar, right? Especially for the other Pokemon like the Growlithe, the other fire Pokemon, is Kyogre. Kyogre just comes through and stomps it down. You have a second charge move on him that is gonna be effective. So if you're utilizing him and fighting against a water Pokemon and you actually have Thunder, right? He's gonna resist all the water, and then he's gonna be able to deliver an effective moveset that's gonna be great for it. So for the Venonat and Venomoth, you can use the Tyranitar with the Smackdown. For the Oddish and Gloom, you can use the Mewtwo, right, with the Confusion as well as the Ice Beam, or you can also use the Charizard with the Blast Burn. Those are 2 great options. The Mewtwo is going to be able to cover the Hitmonchan as far as weaknesses with the Psychic, and he's going to be able to cover the Psychic type Pokemon with a counter utilizing the Shadow Ball. That's why you have to have the Shadow Ball on your Mewtwo. As far as the Psyduck goes, it's always a good time to use Raikou. Raikou, you can also have a Shadow Ball if you want him to be a 2-type move type Pokemon, right? Because using that Shadow Ball against the Psychic type Pokemon can also will work as well, which is a pretty cool moveset combination. And then for the Larvitar, you can definitely use the Kyogre. Great Pokemon to use against the Larvitar. And then finally, we have the Turtwig. Turtwig, the fire is going to do great, but also the Mewtwo, if you have the second charge move of Ice Beam, is going to level it out. So utilizing just a few counters is going to really do a ton of damage. What I usually do, I throw a Dialga in there just because Dialga is such a beast. He really helps out. And then I throw a Tyranitar with the Smackdown Stone Edge, and I haven't unlocked a Crunch on one of those guys, but I'm highly considering it. Other thing you can note, Tyranitar also can get Fire Blast. So if you decide to unlock a second charge move, you can TM it. Not necessary, but you could have it. And then finally, you can use the Kyogre coming through any of the fire and the rock type Pokemon. Great counter to use. And they're all just beasts. They're all great. So I have the Dialga and the Tyranitar, basically my two anchors, and then I'll have a third one in there that can go up front, but then if I ever need to fall back on for any type of like random typings, those guys do great against the random typing. It's great to have those guys that don't take damage really to anything and can deliver a lot of DPS. Pretty strong Pokemon. They're highly advisable, and then you have one that kind of floats and sits in there. So now we're gonna get into what can you do with these guys, right? Like why and what is the strategy behind the Team Rocket stops? Number one, as I've said before in my Stardust video, I'm highly against purifying a ton of these guys, right? Like if at some point they release legendary Pokemon, and some people may be using the theory that, oh, I need the extra balls, right? You can purify 50, but then you don't need to go beyond 50, right? Because beyond 50, we're looking at 500. That is a ton of Stardust. It is an unassumingly large amount of Stardust that is going to deter your Stardust and start to tank it into your bag without even you noticing. All of a sudden, you'll be like 50 and you're like, man, where's all my Stardust going? It's going to purify your Pokemon, right? So when I say an unassuming amount of Stardust, let's take this for example. If you do 50, you are going to do 50,000 Stardust, right? If you do 50 for 2,000 Stardust, that is going to be 100,000 total Stardust just for 50 to get the silver medal, right? And let's say you did 5,000, that's 250,000 Stardust, which could power up a legendary from level 20 to max, or 2 legendaries basically of lucky legendaries. So it is a ton of Stardust. It's a lot more than you think. Or it could be like, you know, you do the 2,000 for 50, right? You get 100,000. That's a charge move on a legendary unlocked. So be smart with your Stardust. Probably get to the silver, but I wouldn't go over to the gold because you're only talking one more Premier Ball. It's not super significant. And as of right now, we don't have anything that is super challenging to catch that you're like, I definitely need just one more ball. You do not want to do that. Trust me on this. You don't want to do that. What you do is you can utilize these shadow Pokemon to do them frequently. You get a 500 Stardust bonus. Like I said, you get the PvP mechanics, but then you also get the ability to get these Pokemon to be able to utilize and purify to get you close to 100%, right? Because it's going to bump 2 up of all the stats. So if you got like a 96, right, a 14, 15, 14, or even like a 93 with a 13, 15, 13, or anything like that, right? Different combinations, you can utilize the purification to bump it up to 100. Then you get the discount on the Stardust and the candy to power this guy up. Additionally, you can then evolve them on Community Day to get the Community Day moveset. And since the Turtwig Day is coming up soon, this is the Pokemon to use. Also, the one other thing I did want to mention is that the Shadow Pokemon cannot get the Community Day moves if you evolve them because they're Shadow Day Pokemon. So in order to get the Community Day moves, like this Turtwig, if you get it and you get a good one, you have to purify it in order to be able to evolve it, to be able to get the Community Day moveset, then to be able to power it up, right? So additionally with the Luckies, you can also get the purified Pokemon to save you on Stardust, to max out on your resources. So that's my strategy behind this. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that this helps to help you guys succeed against the Rocket, to be having generalists and to have a little bit of specifics as well. One other strategy that I use, guys, is just utilizing the Shadow Pokemon as ability to get more candy, right? So if you run into these Pokemon, oftentimes, like I did to Dratini today, what I did is I just Pineapped it and I end up getting 6 Dratini candy. So that's another one you can use for Catch a Dragon task, right? Super efficient. So utilizing these Turtwigs, right, these Growlithes, these Dratinis, and all these other Pokemon, and the second evolves will even get you more candy if you Pineapple, although they are a little bit harder. So what you can do is just utilize them with the pineapple berries to help you get more candy for these useful Pokemon as well. So that's a really good strategy to help you max out on these shadow Pokemon. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all my likers, commenters, subscribers, and my sharers. It really helps out, and all my Patreon members. I'll see you guys out on that next video. We got a ton of good stuff coming out, so make sure to stay tuned and in tune as well. So peace. I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.